NHS inductees, can you guys turn off your phones, please? Thank you. Good evening. My name is Ms. Stewart Williams, and I'm one of the sponsors for the HF chapter of National Honor Society. It is my pleasure to welcome everybody here tonight. On behalf of the current membership of the Homewood Flossmoor chapter of the National Honor Society, we welcome our new members and their families and friends. Thank you to any members of our school board who are in attendance this evening. If we have any school board members here, can you please stand? Hi, little baby. I also would like to thank our school administrators in attendance. On the stage, we have our superintendent, Dr. Wakely, as well as our school principal, Dr. Alexander. The support and guidance from our school board and administration is crucial to the success of National Honor Society. Our purpose in being here tonight is to honor and celebrate the induction of our newest members. Membership in NHS has been earned by the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities held in high esteem by the organization. The 4 requirements of membership are based on the premise of our 4 pillars: leadership, scholarship, character, and service. Our current officers will take a moment to speak about each of these. Please help me welcome our current president, Maya Guyton, who will speak more on the pillar of leadership. Good evening. Dear esteemed members and inductees of the National Honor Society, my name is Maya Guyton and I'm president of the National Honor Society. It is an honor to stand before you today to speak about the critical role of leadership in our lives and in our society. As we gather to celebrate your induction into this prestigious organization, we recognize your dedication, hard work, and academic achievements. These qualities are all essential components of leadership, and I have no doubt that you will continue to demonstrate them throughout your lives. To me, leadership is not a position or a title. It is a mindset, a way of being. It requires empathy, compassion, and the ability to connect with others on a deep level. Being a member of NHS follows the same guidelines as being a leader. Principal Dr. Alexander once told me that in order to truly be a leader, you have to know the way, show the way, and go the way. Sure, anybody can know, show, or go the way, but doing all 3 is what really sets leaders apart. As you embark on this new chapter in your academic and personal lives, I want you to remember that leadership is not a destination, but a journey, and it requires constant growth and development. To conclude, I want to congratulate you all once again on your well-deserved induction into the National Honor Society. You have demonstrated the qualities of leadership in your academic achievements, and I have no doubt that you will continue to embody these qualities throughout your lives. As you move forward, remember that the world needs leaders like you, and that your contributions can make a complete difference in the lives of others. Congratulations, and thank you for your attention. Please join me in welcoming Larson Prokop, NHS Vice President, who will speak on the pillar of scholarship.
Hello and welcome. My favorite contemporary word in the English language is visceral. Its formal definition describes it as relating to the viscera. For those who don't know, the viscera refers to the internal organs of the human body. It's a great adjective to throw into any sentence because it makes you seem distinguished. And more importantly, nobody will correct you when you misuse the word, because approximately 0% of the population knows what the viscera is. Unfortunately for my favorite word, however, I was not asked to be up on the stage to give a speech to all of you about the viscera. I'm here to talk to you about scholarship, and especially about the visceral and intuitive experience that learning is. All of you sitting here before me have demonstrated an aptitude for success academically, and for that, you deserve to be recognized and celebrated for your achievements. I implore you all to go deeper than just the rewards of schooling, to pursue your passions, and to fall in love with the journey rather than the destination. about pursuing the joy in obtaining knowledge rather than reaping the rewards, given that, as a graduating senior, I've gotten the grades and the scores and the rewards. But in doing so, I've limited myself. In prioritizing only the A's, I engrossed myself in a methodical approach of schooling rather than the visceral experience that learning should be. Learning is more than just the rewards for others to see. It's about the intrinsic desire to understand, the entrancing feeling that surrounds the pursuit of knowledge. Everyone sitting here has much more to offer the world than just being another good student who gets good grades. You can do much more, and I urge you to do just that. I want to leave you with this. Embrace the journey. Life and your relationship with learning will not be linear. Appreciate the ebbs and flows of life. Appreciate yourself, especially those around you, and never stop learning. Thank you, and please join me in welcoming Sinai Thomas, our Secretary, who will speak on character.
Good evening, everyone, faculty, staff, and most importantly, newly inducted and graduated NHS members. I am Sanaya Thomas, a graduating senior here at Flossmoor High School, and I was inducted into NHS at the end of my junior year, just like many of you all this evening. First, I want to congratulate you on your outstanding performances and strong starts to your high school career. This is only the beginning of your journey, and I'm certain of many more successes for you all in the future. Today, I will be going over the pillar of character within NHS. Character is integrity, respect, compassion, and optimism. In character, one must decide what values you want to portray. Character is not inborn or inherited, but in fact learned and acted in by a person over time. As you are being inducted into the NHS this evening, you all have been selected and seen within your class as students who either have good character or have the characteristics to grow within the character. As the secretary of our NHS 2023 Executive Board, all things must be tied to one's identity. Character not only can define who you are, but show you the colors of how you portray yourself even when no one is around. If you're sitting down and questioning your character this evening, don't fret or fear. Through the journey within your next couple of years at NHS, you'll build character beyond your imagination. Through resilience, labor, and community, you will find yourself in another headspace and someday come to the stage and make a speech similar to mine. Through NHS, you'll go through many service experiences that will alter and help enhance your character. From the MLK Day required service to the food and clothing drives you may partake in. Even the little things like helping someone hold the door or removing trash from the drive. These acts of good character will take you far and is another tool for your success within NHS. Character can be seen as a set of qualities that make a person unique. Your attitude and mindset that indicates to others who you are and what you stand for. Having not only good character but also a personality that tells people who you are is what being part of the NHS is all about. Once again, congratulations on joining the NHS, for you and I are the leaders of tomorrow. You all are the future of NHS and our chapters of the society at HF. So tonight, remember the 4 pillars of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Please help me welcome our Community Outreach Director, Micaiah Kanazi, who will speak on the pillar of service.
Good evening, I'm Micaiah Kanazi, the Community Outreach Officer for the NHS, and I was inducted at the end of my sophomore year as well, like many of you all. I want to give a big congratulations to everyone here for your outstanding performances and accomplishments so far, as you are one of the top students in the school and the future leaders of Flossmoor High School. Today, I will be going over the pillar of service within the NHS. Service is to help another by performing an action or work for someone else. To be performing true service, you must possess the characteristics of selflessness and respect. Whether you're providing service to a local organization or a club here at the high school, you are expected to contribute with full effort. When it comes to service, it is the pillar that is more than just growth within yourself, but also with community. You must be able to perform selfless acts while working with others and expecting nothing in return. Growth within service leads to growth within the other pillars. The acts of service bring out your leadership when working with others, your character of dedicating your time to help those in your community, and the scholarship of realizing the impact of your actions and continuing to do more. Without service, changing areas that we like in as a community would not be possible. During your time in the National Honor Society, you will be required to meet a certain number of in-school and out-of-school hours for the whole school year. The hours will be provided by the organization or ones that you are already participating in that meet the society's requirements. My advice to you all is to stay on top of your hours and not wait until the last minute for completing them. Although you have to meet a certain number of hours, the NHS is more about growth within your pillars than meeting a number requirement. So remember that NHS is more than just hours. And to my class of 2023, I hope NHS has made a big impact on our scholarship, character, and service and leadership, where we can continue to grow and use what we've learned in our next endeavors. A big congratulations to all of us who have made it this far, and good luck on the paths we have taken after high school. Please help me welcome our Vice President Larson, who will welcome our guest speaker.
I would now like to introduce our guest speaker, Marc Fishman, hailing proudly from Homewood Flossmoor Community High School's class of 2000, who lives a double life. By day, Marc is a marketing director. He crafts graphics, writes copy, forms strategy, and mines data. By night, Fishman unfurls his beard and becomes Marc Fishman, comic book author and artist. A graduate of the Aaron School of Art, part of Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis, Fishman's penchant for multi-hyphenation has led him to be both a professional and creative force, mostly for good. Beyond the pushing of pixels, he's a stalwart husband and father to a veritable school of fish, a trio of triumphant sons, and his adorable daughter, who deftly defies the dalliance of alliteration. Marc would like to congratulate this year's class and recognizes that his bio is clearly overwritten as a means to attempt to impress those in the NHS, and obviously believes wordsmithery is a viable literary smokescreen for his clear insecurities. Marc would also like to note he's done a little stand-up comedy. I know that was going to be my intro. I would have used visceral in there. Sorry. See, I'm paying attention. All right. Everybody can hear me okay? Yes. All right. It's the question we're asked over and over as kids, then young adults. A simple inquiry that aims to distill the breadth of your experiences, desires, skills, and talents into a single form-fitting response. A question that often seems simple until you actually have to answer it. A cathartic catechism coerced from your credulous countenances, laid bare for you to quell mere curiosity. I want to point out I actually never got into NHS, and that chip on my shoulder likely is causing me to dust off every large word I know tonight, but I digress. What do you want to be? 6 words that open up to a literal lifetime of impossible answers. And here tonight, as you well-deserving students become members of the National Honor Society, it's likely not only on your mind, but the mind of your parents, family, friends of your family, your actual friends, and most importantly, you. When I was in grade school, Churchill Elementary, go Bulldogs, I had my answer ready to go. I was going to be an architect. Why? Well, I recognized I had no desire to do what my parents did. My mom was a unit secretary in a hospital. My father was a cashier at a liquor store. And they both had to wake up before dawn to shuttle me off to a sitter so that they could keep their cushy middle-class lifestyle running smoothly. And given that everything I learned was culled from TV, I chose the only job that seemed like fun, architect, by way of Mike Brady of the Brady Bunch. I mean, come on, that sitcom dad could afford a nice house in the Los Angeles suburbs, he had a live-in maid, and could afford family trips to Hawaii. I didn't know exactly what an architect did, mind you, but I knew it came with a big desk, and had something to do with drawing, which I considered myself pretty good at. So you'll all agree was a fine answer as to who I wanted to be. I also realize now at 41, my reference to the Brady Bunch may only resonate with the staff and the parents in attendance tonight. So if you've not heard of it prior, look it up. It slaps, no cap. I promise absolutely no more Gen Z slang from here on out. So what do you want to be? Well, when I got to James Hart Jr. High, go Panthers, I made 2 friends that would change my life, Matt Wright and Kyle Nepper.
Together, we discovered the joys of comic books long before Marvel was banking billions. We threw all our allowance money at magic cards before Pokemon took grip of the world, and my personal priorities towards a career shifted. Architecture's allure dulled in the cacophony of content my buddies and I consumed. It was then during these tumultuous years my focus shifted, and I declared that I simply wanted to be creative, to be paid to sit and make things, whatever those things might be. Put a pin in that, it's going to be important in a little bit. By the time I got to HF, go Vikings, James Hart got a big one. I had the idea set. With the loose plans of a cocky idiot who was long told growing up he was gifted, I took all honors courses and then a few AP ones for good measure. I made it into Viking choir as a sophomore and was in the barbershop quartet senior year. I ran through the visual arts path here, taking fundamentals, 2D Studio 1 and 2, AP Art History, and AP Studio Art. And throughout it all, I maintained my best friendship with Matt and Kyle. As we parted ways temporarily for college, the goal was now solidified. Matt, Kyle, and I would become writers and artists making comic books professionally. We'd make a small fortune doing amazing arts for DC and Marvel, then buy 3 neighboring houses in the Chicagoland area and live happily ever after with our hot wives and kids who would become instant best friends. Now, if you ask me bluntly today who I am, my retort would be a reasonable response to tonight's titular question. All youthful dreaming and bluster aside, I am a marketing director with a 19-year career as a professional creative, and I'm also a co-owner, author, and artist of Unshaven Comics, a comic book studio founded by myself, Matt, and Kyle that publishes original graphic novels and comic books now going on 15 years. I'm also a husband of 13 and a half years and the proud father of 3 boys and 1 little queen. As so many of you enter your senior year here in the fall, I have no doubt how many adults have drenched you in hyperbole over all you've lived through already. An odd Cheeto-hued commander-in-chief, a nationwide pandemic, trying to grab a PS5, the Occupy Wall Street protest, Black Lives Matter protests, 2 Writers Guild strikes, and the advent of the career path of YouTuber, or I suppose now TikToker. I have high suspicion I was asked to speak here today because I myself am threading the needle as a multi-hyphenate. After graduation from the Heron School of Art at IUPUI, go whatever mascot we had, I was hired, literally the day after graduation, as an associate art director for a small marketing firm in Indianapolis, thus kicking off my career literally the second it was feasible. I affirm that who I am today, marketing director by day, comic book entrepreneur by night, is largely due, in part, to the lessons gleaned here at HF. In order to meet my goals of becoming that creative I desire to be, I took summer school before freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I took E-period all 4 years, and I stayed in the top 50-ish students in my class. Please don't look up my transcript because this is the lie I've come to believe, and I'm still very fragile about not getting into the NHS thing. That same drive I had here carried over with me to college, where others were joining frats and maneuvering through multiple survey courses to find themselves. I had my eyes affixed on that pipe dream of a creative career, as did Kyle and Matt respectively. The hollowed halls of buildings A through G forged our friendship into something that's remained a constant throughout no fewer than 19 individual apartment or house moves, 3 weddings, and 8 births. And maybe more important to Unshaven Comics, 7 individual issues and 4 original graphic novel debuts. None of who I am now, though, has come without relevant strife and challenge. While at IUPUI, I failed my sophomore review to enter the visual communication department. Facing down an extra year of out-of-state tuition was not in the cards, though, so I drew inspiration from my time here, busting my backside to complete my AP Studio Art portfolio, score a 5 on my AP Art History exam, while still making the grade in Honors Econ. The opportunities offered to me here honed me to believe in myself. If I could survive the walk to North building with the entirety of my locker on my back, I could just as easily dust myself off. and pushed through to pivot my major, but maintained the class and workload to graduate with my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Illustration in 4 years without missing a beat. And I did it while completing work study at our campus tech lab, teaching myself the digital art skills necessary to pursue that career path I remained steadfast to attain, at the same time earning my degree with the skills needed for ample comic bookery. And it was there at the crossroads of college graduation and the great big world in front of me where that question came tumbling out of my subconscious once more: what do you want to be? I want to be clear to all of you amazing students here in front of me today, the answer to that question exists within you, and it may not be as single-minded as my get paid to make stuff ethos. And rest assured, for many of you, the answer is still far too fuzzy to make out. You're considering higher education, thinking about majors or lofty life goals, and more than likely hovering around Twitch stream chat rooms and Discord servers pelting questions to freshmen and sophomores about the party scene as much as you are researching pre-med programs. Your NHS membership is likely a notch in that application belt to open your potential acceptance letter collection to assist in that next leap forward, and I commend all of you for it. Totes not jealous either, I swear. Behind the cavalcade of choices you're about to wade through, I trust you're likely asking the bigger, deeper questions I know I will be asking myself at the same time 24 years ago. Will I be successful? Will I hold on to my friendships here? How hard will it be to get an actual job? Or will AI replace whatever it is I'm interested in today by the time I'm ready to work? And will I be able to even afford an apartment without splitting it with 4 other roommates? And what if only 2 of those roommates are my friends from HF? And how will Emma and Chloe get along with Dylan and Sebastian? And of course, when will my YouTube channel finally get over 100,000 subs so I don't have to be a barista forever? Well, I know I'm not supposed to spoil it, but I'll go ahead anyways. You will be successful. If you want to hold on to your friends here, you will. You will find solid employment, even if it is just writing prompts for ChatGPT 8.0. You'll be able to afford a life pod, but Chloe will hook up with Sebastian and the whole thing will devolve into a massive TikTok trend in 2029. And your YouTube channel? Okay, I'm going to leave one mystery for you to solve. I'm living proof that you can have your cake and eat it too. A solid career, beautiful family, and a passion project that profits enough to be self-sustaining has all come as a byproduct of this school, this community, and those 3 best friends together that we came together 30 years ago. So, you know I have to do it now. It all comes back to that single, disgusting, repetitive, worthless, angering, idiosyncratic question that no matter how far you run away from, will always come roaring back to the lips of the listless adults forever needing to know. Now you get it. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Fishman. We have a gift of recognition that we would like to present to you. We would like to present you with your very own HF alumni poster. We also have other gifts from alumni relations as well. I would now like to introduce our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coordinator, Vashti Lastis.
Thank you. The Home of Flossmoor NHS chapter is a vital part of our school community. Both HF faculty and community leaders know they can rely on our members to volunteer their time. In many cases, entire school and community events would not be possible without the members of our chapter. It is evident that our members are among the most eager and altruistic. The National Honor Society is the nation's premier organization established to recognize outstanding high school students. NHS chapter members not only recognize students for their accomplishments, but challenges them to develop further through active involvement in school activities and community service. These characteristics have been associated with membership in the organization since its beginning in 1921. Four main purposes have guided the chapters of NHS from the beginning: to create enthusiasm for scholarship, to stimulate a desire to render service, to promote leadership, and to develop character in the students of secondary schools. Thank you and congratulations to our newest members.
I'd like to honor and thank our leadership board. In addition to myself as the president, I would like to thank Larson Pocock, Vice President, Sanaya Thomas, Secretary, Makaya Kanazi, Community Outreach, Berlindo Wachuku, Public Relations, Vashti Elasticity, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and Michaela Taylor, Communications. Our junior representatives are Jordan Flowers, Jasmine Rose, Andrew Phillips, and Kevin Gibbon. Thank you for your service and leadership. We will now welcome this year's candidates into the National Honor Society. The four qualities possessed by National Honor Society members are encompassed by the eternal light of knowledge. It is this quest for knowledge that we are trying to encourage and develop in the four qualities of the National Honor Society. Through character, we are trying to foster knowledge of self and confidence in our personal beliefs and values. Through scholarship, we are trying to develop a knowledge and desire for continued learning throughout life. Through leadership and service, we are trying to encourage knowledge of social responsibility to others and their needs, as well as the courage to stand up for our beliefs. It is this light of knowledge that we pass on now to our new members of the Homewood-Baltimore High School chapter of the National Honor Society. I now invite our officers and new inductees to recite the pledge after me. It can be found in the NHS Induction Ceremony program. If you don't have a program, you could just look on with somebody. It's okay. Okay, ready? Okay. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society to which I have been elected. I will maintain and encourage high standards of character, scholarship, leadership, and service. We will now call up each of our new inductees. Please hold your applause and verbal celebration until after all names have been called.
NHS inductees, if you guys could leave all of your belongings because you'll be returning to that row. If we could please have President and Vice President step up. Dr. Wakely and Dr. Alexander, if you guys could step up as well. Thank you. You will present your name cards to our Secretary, Sanaya Thomas, to make sure that that is your appropriate name card. And our names tonight are being read by Andrea Pillows and Kevin Gibbick, our junior representatives for this current school year.
Brandon Courts.
Ariel Rose.
Gabriel Ajechi.
Ariana Dyson.
Lorenzo Martinez.
Jackson Rage.
Sawyer Fogarty.
Kaylee Rage.
Mila Ponce.
Ahmad Powell.
Joshua Barhada.
Ava Beeman.
Caitlin H.
Caitlin Williams.
Mia Wallace.
Kaylin Kirkman.
Summer Owens.
Skylar Skinner.
Dominic Vanelli.
Jaden Finley.
Ross Torian.
Zaria Douglas.
Joshua Wicks.
Naima Dodson.
Samaya Sizek.
Riley Miller.
Vivian Clark.
Tessa O'Keefe.
Morgan Morelli.
Daniel Lee.
Everett Van Til.
Gianni Alberico.
Kendall Wilson.
Jada Murphy.
Lyndon Proby.
Tamia Mack.
Sharif Mentor.
Ashton Polk.
Lauren Parker.
Pedro Lugo.
Eric Nickerson.
Lauren Hines.
Kennedy Walker.
Trinity Swanson.
Maya McNeil.
Ophelia Castanon.
Maeve McRory.
Julia Henry.
Noel Dolan.
Cornell Stevenson.
Kazia Hillard.
Tolani Babaweli.
Moshe Rush.
Madison Harris.
Kyla McAllister.
Talia Johnson.
Caitlin Neal.
Leilani Williams.
Marissa Harris.
Bria Levant.
Vianney Martinez.
Francesca McGaffey.
Reina Kaminsky.
Adeyemi Kasali.
Veronica Hamaguchi.
Brandon Sims.
Ohanali Ham.
Annalise Weber.
Lauren LaSalle.
Grace Cairo.
Camille Bruce.
Morgan Henderson.
Morgan Kimball.
Michaela Coleman.
Jack Piros.
Gani Hassel. Amarian Lifschultz.
Josiah Cohen.
Nathan Greep.
Jemiah Lee.
Jordan Richardson.
Damian Wilson.
Flannery Merrick.
Nyla Bishop.
Aubrey Camp.
Summer Daniil.
Elodie Sullivan.
Rachel Griggs.
Sydney Villanueva.
Clark Barnett.
Layla Taylor.
Genesis Harris.
Kendall Pace.
Kirsten Thomas.
Shiloh Quintana.
Salome Epperson.
Juan Romero. Willie Okoji.
Jackson Willis.
Javaya Israel.
Jakai Peebles.
Mary Kathleen Strawling. Tyler Watkins Roden.
Daniel Carter.
Janiyah Merrill.
Yadine Isaacs.
Hiroshio Haddon.
Aaron Odom.
Shyla Mahone.
Jordan Abercrombie.
Maura Mitchell.
Nathan Ford.
Tracy Skinner.
Leah Lickard.
Ava Mathis,
Kaya Kellogg.
Madeline Sampson,
Lucy Bowling.
Lachey Williams,
Jacob Rowe.
Stella Hoyt,
Kendall Lavin.
Andrea Taylor, you all may applaud.
Congratulations and welcome to the Homewood Flossmoor High School chapter of the National Honor Society. Now we will have information from one of our sponsors, Ms. Kozik.
Thank you, officers, for your assistance tonight, and more importantly, for your vision and commitment to NHS. I'm proud of all that this leadership team has accomplished. Congratulations to our new members. I'm looking forward to the learning and service opportunities that will surely make for a memorable year. A few reminders before closing remarks. All future NHS announcements will be communicated in the 2023-2024 NHS Members Google Classroom. The NHS applicant Google Classroom will no longer be used. Members will have the opportunity to vote for their junior representatives and executive board members at tomorrow's membership meeting. Remember, you have two options to attend, a 7 a.m. virtual meeting and a 3:15 in-person meeting in E1. Don't forget, inductees, pick up your certificates outside the auditorium. At this time, we would like to have the officers report to the hallway. And now, our President Maya with the evening's closing remarks.
Express our personal gratitude on behalf of myself, our membership, and our sponsors, Ms. Stewart Williams, Ms. Kozik, and Ms. Chasey. To Ms. Gail Smith, Activities Director, Ms. Joanna Searcy, Administrative Assistant to Activities and Fine Arts, and Ms. Ann Cherry, our Director of Alumni Relations. This event would not be possible without their ongoing guidance and support. I would also like to give special thanks to our school board members, administrators, and our guest speaker, Mr. Fishman. This concludes this evening's programs. Congratulations to the new members.
Parents, we have their certificates in the hallway alphabetically, so we are going to start dismissing the students first, and then you guys can meet them in the atrium. Thank you so much for your attention this evening. Have a great night.